We are starting from the 1960s. We'll progress to the 1970s. We'll get to the 1980s. At some point, we will go back to pre-colonial Nigeria. It's about history. It's about politics. It's about power. Let me welcome my guest. My guest is the author of the book, Nigeria on Gunpowder, The Climax of Misrule. Can you see the book? My guest is the author of this book. So this class is like a book reading. My guest would explain some of the definitions he made in this book. Let me introduce the book to you. The book has been described as one that has the capacity to charge with laying the foundation for knowledge, the knowledge of politics. The book looks into the past, extracts the moment it was written, and projected into the future. The author will explain. My guest is Dr. Victor Olu Taiwo. Mr. Victor Taiwo, welcome to State Affairs Studio.
Edmund, I'm very happy to be here.
Hello.
I want to congratulate you on this studio. And this is very, very amazing. And when I was coming in a vehicle the other time, I was telling my people that this man, Obilo, is trying to create kind of unprecedented situation in Africa in the history of journalism. And I think you are proving right now with what I'm saying here. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
You know, I've always loved this book.
I know.
And I'm happy you have gone to reprint the book.
Oh, yes.
And why did you reprint the book?
Well, due to popular demand all over the world. Yes, especially in the academics. People, they see it has been very valuable, especially for research students, PhD students, master students, and so on. So the demands were too overwhelming. So I said, well, let me make a lot of effort to get it reprinted, and it is really going all over the world.
It was first written in 1999.
1994, 95.
Okay.
That's 28 years ago.
What spurred you to write the book at the time?
Well, that's a great question. I am a lover of history. I'm a lover of the welfare of the people. And I know that if you don't know where you are coming from, there's no way you can determine where you are going. So you have to know the history of your surroundings and to be able to project into the future. So I saw the situation in Nigeria as being too abysmal. And I discovered that I saw no hope in Nigeria. Looking at the history, the foundation laid by Lugard and the British, it was all a fraud. So nothing good can come out of fraud. So the thing resonated into the problems we have been having in Nigeria, things becoming worse. So when it was 1993, I was formerly part of Campaign for Democracy. Then sometime in 1993 or early 94, I think 93, when this election of Abiola was turned down, annulled, I said, wow, I don't see any future in this country anymore. I was justified by my assertion that the foundation of Nigeria will never bring anything good to us. So I had to visit my chairman, the chairman of the CD, Campaign for Democracy. That was Dr. Bekoransom Kuti. I think you know him. You should know him.
Yes, Fela's younger brother.
Yes, I went to him in Lagos. I was writing about it. I booked an appointment to see him, and he gave me an appointment. When I saw him, I discussed with him. I said, well, doctor, the way I'm seeing Nigeria, I don't think it can remain united for life. I think everything should start thinking of building its own territory. That let's, to your 10th whole history, let us start preparing for our own Yoruba nation. The Igbos may be preparing for their nation and not the rest. I narrated all my hypotheses. It was like, is this man okay? Mm-hmm. His gesticulation really showed that he did not see any sense in what I was talking. And at the end of the day, he said, well, I wish you best of luck. So, the point I'm trying to derive is that my merely sitting down with him for a few minutes will not convince him. So I now said, what can I do? How many people will I sit down with to convince? Why can't I write a book, a very powerful book that will be self-explanatory, very instructive. Merely picking it and reading, you will get all the facts you want to get. That was what actually spurred me into writing the book. And it really worked. I will give you an example. When I wrote the book in manuscript, I went to Chief Bola Ige. I was trying to sensitize him about what I told Beko that he did not grasp. And I love Bola Ige for one thing. He always loves young men of intellect. And he really engaged me. We really engaged each other. For about 1 hour, we were making hot arguments. He gave me all the room. So I was canvassing for the construction of our Yoruba nation. He was on the side of Nigeria. So the table was left for the two of us. At a stage, I said, well, Baba, I usually call him Baba. I said, Baba, you see, this your Nigeria thing. Even your guy did it and regretted. He's shocked. He said, which your guy? I said, Awolowo. Awolowo? What do you mean? Victor, do you have the tape? Do you have the facts? Do you have this? Do you have that? Yeah, I said, yes, I have my facts. Can you let me have your facts? You know, I was carrying the manuscript, a very big log. I just pulled it out of my bag and I flagged the page. Read this. He said, okay, don't worry. Let me go away with the whole book. Meanwhile, we were having a meeting with him. My organization was having a meeting with him 3 or 4 days after that event. We were already booked for an appointment. So by the time we got to the table for discussion, you know, Bola Ige was a fast reader, like you, I think. So he had finished the whole book. And he said, Victor, you have been able to convince me of your aspiration. You made the point, and today, you continue to toe your line. Then he told me that when he finished reading the book, he had to call his wife. That there is a young man that God has given us in this country. He has written a book and he has been able to convince me that we have to fight for our Yoruba nation. And he said they both knelt down and prayed to God doing thanksgiving for giving them a young man of vision like this. So how many people have read the book that have been convinced of my point of reasoning? I cannot say. So my purpose of writing the book has been achieved.
So Bola Ige read the manuscript of this book.
Oh, yes.
Did he make any contribution? Did he suggest?
No suggest. He took everything hook, line, and sinker. It was all accolades for me. Nothing, no subtraction.
You know, when I read it the first time, and I read it again, I said, "There's a powerful book of history on my table."
Yeah.
And I wanted to get a copy, and you said the book is no longer available.
Oh, yes.
But I'm happy that the book is now available.
Oh, yes. Now
people can now read the book.
Yes.
So the book I am talking about is entitled Nigeria on Gunpowder, The Climax of Misrule. Look at it. You see the book? It's a big book. We are talking about 531 pages.